What's going on, everybody? It's the Hook Cam back again with another film breakdown. I gotta be honest with you guys straight up. First and foremost, I've been very busy the last week or so. Law school is absolutely kicking my ass in every way, shape, and form, but I love it. High school football is cranking back up again, and I'm very excited about how the team looks. I'm excited to get going out there. And I've just been a busy guy, full-time workload as well. So haven't been able to focus as much on YouTube, focus as much on really the NFL in general. I've been popping in and watching games here and there, but haven't been super religious with it. But this weekend, I was able to take a look here and there at some of the games, and obviously this Raiders versus Chiefs game was really, really interesting, and the Raiders did some very, very cool things with the football that I really wanted to highlight. They took advantage of some of the Chiefs' defensive alignments, took advantage of them with some pre-snap motion as well, and then just what they did defensively to confuse Patrick Mahomes was very interesting to me, and I think it should be highlighted. So with all that being said, guys, before I dive too far into this thing, if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button to my channel, The Hook Cam, as well as to Jackson Kruger Sports. We all know if it's a Raiders video, it's going to end up on Jackson's channel. So Raiders fans, I hope you guys enjoy this phenomenal game from your guys on Sunday. They deserved it, and the trash talking between the two teams is just weird to me. I get it because they're divisional rivals. I totally understand that, but still weird all the same. Can't we just appreciate a good game plan? Probably not, because people are children. So with that being said, let's dive on in. Play number one. First things first, this pre-snap motion right there. What that's going to do is it's going to push this corner off, right? The Chiefs end up running a really simple cover three, right? We're dropping right here with our corner. We're dropping here with our safety, and then we're dropping here with our other corner. Now, this corner is going to be lined up on Nelson Aguilar, who this ball is going to ultimately, right? But when we push that corner off, what it's going to do is match up this receiver with this safety, right? Now we've moved this corner out into the flat. He's really not doing anything now. He's supposed to be working into that deep third, which he's not anymore, right? Now we just have Darren Waller working in the deep third and this corner working back. Now, a couple of things happen on this play that are really, really instrumental to how it plays out. The first thing I want to point out, really the second or third on this play, but it's going to be Darren Waller right here at the top of the formation. He's going to run a crosser like this across the field. That's going to take this safety who's dropping down into that robber, and he's going to work with that, right? So now, really all we have to guard for Nelson Aguilar on this double move is you're hoping as a defensive coordinator that this corner works back here, which he kind of does, and you're hoping that they don't run a double move, because if this safety bites at all for just a second, which he does, you're going to have some open space to work with over here. Now, on top of all of this, the movement in the pocket from Derek Carr was phenomenal. Phenomenal. So much so that I cut up the end zone film of it. And take a look right here. As Derek Carr works back, we see him move to his left. He moves his hips, eyes, feet, everything going to the left. Really, he's looking at this crosser right here. But what he sees at the top is he sees that double move. He sees Darren Waller stumble for just a second, and it's enough space for him to launch that ball to 15 for a big-time touchdown early in this football game. Now, the Raiders come back, and this is kind of one of the things that I love about Las Vegas, almost said Oakland. There is one of the things that I really like about Gruden, and when Gruden first got hired in Vegas and when it was Oakland, I was kind of skeptical. I was like, man, this guy's he's a commentator now. I didn't think that he was going to be able to translate from, that 1990s, early 2000s football into a, modern day NFL coach, and he's proved me wrong in every sense of the word, and I'm happy about it. I love it. I think it's awesome. Once again, we get the pre-snap motion here from the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to get a really simple power, right, where we're going to throw right guard and right tackle up to this Mike linebacker. The block that really impresses me, though, is with Darren Waller right here, right? Really good working up. Okay, we got a nice base to our block right here where we're going to get our helmet play side. Boom. Now, we kind of get tossed right here. I know what you're thinking. That's not a great block. It is a great block because it's effective, right? As we work inside there, look it. We fire the feet. We're working our helmet to that inside V, and we stay there. Right now, at the last second, that defensive end sheds off. You're going to kind of expect that Waller on the defensive end isn't exactly what you want, but he hangs on just long enough for this thing to pop for a massive gain. Massive gain. Now, the other thing that I do want to highlight here is going to be the pull and the combo from 77 and 66. I believe that's Gabe Jackson and Trent Brown. Phenomenal football player this guy is. As a Patriots fan, I got to watch him for his lone year in New England just dominate guys. He's an absolute mountain of a human being and a phenomenal football player. Now, this combo really is impressive, and this is kind of the key to the whole thing, right? As we work upfield with this combo, this backer is going to be coming across the formation, right? He's going to try and get across our face right here. We have to be ready to work off with that tackle. As we work upfield, this is really kind of picture perfect. Not really picture perfect, but it gets you in the right spot, right? We want to work up into that linebacker's lap, which is exactly where Trent Brown is. And again, just that movement with that defensive tackle is going to get you there. Now, the second thing is going to be this pull from 71. Targeting pre-snap is going to be a big deal, especially in the NFL, right? These guys know exactly what's going on. But here's kind of what I really like about this. This pre-snap motion brings this backer over into the box. Now, a lot of times bringing a guy into the box isn't necessarily the best thing, but you locate him pre-snap, you work outside, you get a helmet on a helmet, and we're upfield for a big-time game from 23. And again, the Raiders did a really good job of staying consistent running the football. It wasn't, 40-yard gains, 20-yard gains, hell, even 8-yard gains every time. It wasn't that. But what it was consistency, and it showed the Kansas City Chiefs, right? We're going to pound the football, man. We're not going to get too far away from our identity. Now, moving on to this next play here, again, drafting Henry Ruggs for the Las Vegas Raiders, I thought was such a big move. They have kind of this offense that obviously they love to pound the football, but at the same time, they're going to take their shots. And when you have a dude like Henry Ruggs who can take the top off a defense, he's going to get his touches. Now, he only got 2 catches for like $118, I want to say, but what I think is hysterical about this play is Sorensen right here. And hysterical probably isn't the right word, but what I think is interesting about it is the fact that we step up into the formation right here from Sorensen. We step up right there. We leave one-on-one coverage on the outside with Henry Ruggs against the corner. Now, I'm not saying that the Chiefs' corners are bad. Not by any means, right? Because I don't think there's a lot of corners in the NFL who are going to be able to run with this cat for as far as he does, but I love the route right here. Stem it outside, break this thing back into the center of the field. No question at all from Carr where we're putting that thing right on the money to 11. And it's a big-time touchdown for the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, just kind of these weird blunders from Kansas City that you don't see a lot. Now, one thing I do want to point out with this kid's block is phenomenal on this play. Okay, so protection-wise, right, we're going to get hinge protection from the offensive line. Very simple stuff. All that means is that we're going to slide to the left. Now, you can do hinge protection either way. You can slide to the right or the left. This time, they're going to slide to the left, right? So center is responsible from his left hip to the guard's right hip and so on and so forth right here. And we're going to man protect on the back side of this thing. Now, the key with hinge protection is that your back has to fill into this A-gap, especially if there's pressure, which is exactly what Josh Jacobs does. This is a really cool play, man. You don't see backs. It's not that you don't see backs do this, but it's just really cool when you see, your starting running back, your workhorse, your bell cow, come up and take a block like this. Probably a little bit more assertive. We end up getting kind of into the shins of DC back here, but at the same time, you love seeing him sacrifice the body, throw everything you can into it against a 230-pound cat running as fast as he can at you with some harmful intent. Now, moving on to the goal line here with this Las Vegas Raiders football team. They do a lot of really cool things. They did a lot of stuff pre-snap that I really liked, that I thought was really cool, and then they just have some really simple, good old school football stuff. Now all we're going to get right here is inside zone with a wham. Every team in the NFL runs it. We're working a combo with these two cats right up to the backer here. Working a combo with these two up to the backer. We're going to wham the defensive end on the backside, who's going to be Frank Clark. Now we widen him with this alignment back here with Hunter Renfrow, right? If there's no Hunter Renfrow, this dude's going to be a little bit closer. So you can see how the pre-snap formation really messes with the Kansas City Chiefs, right? I like the double team from 74 and 71. We do a good job displacing this defensive tackle right here, getting him out of gap, moving him. Good job from 74 working upfield. 71's got to stay on this block. I know that's Chris Jones, but we got to get centered up there. And then Josh Jacobs just with an exclamation point at the end to get the rock in the end zone. Stuff that you really love to see, especially if you're a Raiders fan. A lot of heart, a lot of grit on that play from Josh Jacobs. Now, moving on into the game, I think this is the last offensive play I have for the Raiders. And really, it's more of kind of like that testament to the Chiefs not playing like themselves. You just had some blunders, right? And this was one of them. This is a 3rd and 18, I want to say in the 3rd or 4th quarter here, and Hunter Renfrow is just going to run really like this deep crosser across the field, and it's going to catch the Chiefs, right? And it's kind of interesting because in the NFL right now, the trend is to really rob down here for these crossers, right? But a lot of time, the crosser is going to be number 3. This time, the Raiders run it with number 2. So what happens is that they're going to run it, make it look like this dude's running across her, and he's going to shut his route down right here, which is going to bring that safety down there. Now we're running cover 3 with the rest of these cats, right? So everybody's dropping off, and that's going to leave a hole right in the middle of the field, which is exactly where Renfro runs this route. Really interesting job, but again, it's just uncharacteristic mistakes, and you can see Sorensen kind of throw his hands up at the end of that play. Just interesting, man. You don't see the Chiefs make mistakes like this, especially with Spagnuolo. I don't think that this is like the new norm. I think that the Chiefs probably just got caught on a bad day, but at the same time, the Raiders executed well, and they 100% deserve that win. Now, moving on to a little bit of what the Raiders done defensively that really impressed me. The Raiders mixed up their zone, their man, and they did a really good job of confusing 15 pre-snap, right? Now, this play right here is really interesting to me because off the snap and pre-snap, it looks like it's going to be man. And really what I want to draw our attention to is to this cat right here, right? This looks like man from pre-snap up to 2 or 3 steps into his drop, right? We're working across the field with him. We're robbing down right here, and the Chiefs will do this a lot, right? This is a classic Kansas City man beater route, right? We're going to run across the field with this right here. We're going to have our curl right in the middle with Kelsey, and then we're going to run a wheel with our back, right? Great man beater because your linebacker has to work over the top to beat this back. If you have one of these cats open early, it's press at the top, so you know Mahomes is going to be looking there. But watch what happens with this. Watch this defensive back. He's basically going to pass that route off, and now we're going to shut this thing down and work in front of 2. That's really cool. I don't know what to call this. I'm not going to lie. I have no idea what to call this because they basically run man, but they break the field down into 2 different guys, right? So as that corner runs with number 3, and that number 3 gets to a certain depth, right? Now we're looking inside, and we're going to take over number 2, and our safety that's robbing down on the field is going to take this guy who's running the crosser. Really interesting, but super effective, right? That's exactly where Kansas City wants to go with that football. That's exactly who they want to target, and they do a great job of closing on that catch area and making a big play on 3rd down. Now, moving on to this next play defensively, to be honest, I don't have the knowledge as a defensive back or zone coverage guy to really tell you what's going on, but what I think is interesting with this is that we're dropping these 3 defensive backs into what looks to be like cover 3, but again, I don't think it is because of how close these guys are together. If anybody knows in the comments, go ahead and drop it because I would love to study up on it. I do want to kind of reach out to some coaches I know and see if they can help me out with this. But really what I think is interesting is that they just do a good job of passing everything off underneath, right? You pass everything off. This is going to end up being a coverage sack for Max Crosby right here. But again, look what happens when you get deeper into this route and deeper into this play. You have your deep option right here covered up with 3 cats. As your number 1 or number 2, I can't remember where this cat was lined up pre-snap, but as he, our number 1 at the bottom, as he breaks into his scramble drill, right, because he's working across the field, sees where 15 is going to break the pocket right here. Now we have a defensive back lined up right in front who can mirror him as he works back across. They just did a really good job of having everything covered up, mixing up our zone, mixing up our man, confusing 15 pre-snap. They did that time in and time out throughout the entirety of this game, really more in the 3rd and 4th quarter, and you saw it pay off for him, right? Good pass rush move from Max Crosby. 15's got to be a little bit more aware there, not going to lie. Now, moving on to this next play and the final play really of this whole thing, which is, the pick from Heath. I can't remember his first name right now, and I don't want to look it up, so we're just going to go with Heath because I know that's his last name. With this, right, it's once again, you're basically reading 2 at the top of this thing. The corner and the safety are reading the second receiver in. If he runs deep, then the safety is going to work with him. Corner's going to continue to get depth, but have his eyes into the middle of this thing. But as he continues to work up here, they're both going to close on it, taking away that option. And really, with this backer, you're trying to work in front of number 3, but this safety right here does such a good job of reading the eyes of 15, coming across and taking that thing away. So, outstanding football game for the Las Vegas Raiders. I was really impressed with how they played. Once again, I think that they're a well-coached football team. Gruden, I sold him short for sure when he got back into the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what he can do for the Raiders from here on out. Chiefs fans who are watching this on my channel, don't you worry. Kansas City will be back. I don't doubt that for a second. That's all I got for you guys today. I'll be back later in the week having a Browns video out and a Justin Herbert video out as well. Maybe a Chiefs video. See if we can sneak one in there. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. Make sure we're washing those hands so we can get some fans in the stadium hopefully pretty soon. Stay tuned for what comes out later this week. Hope everybody's doing well, and I'll see you next time.